Music has been a part of my life since I was very young.
Music was a big part of my family's life.
I remember rifling through my parents' record collection, which was quite extensive, I must say.
I remember my father came home with a Pete Seeger album. It was one of the albums with children's songs on it. And I remember my father, I was about 3.5, and I remember my father singing away, joining Pete Seeger. And I started to sing too, and who knows what really came out of my voice.
Mahalia Jackson, Broadway shows, and operas.
We watched Lawrence Welk every Saturday night. We watched the Jack Benny show sometimes.
Then also singers of the day, Bing Crosby, Rosemary Clooney, and Ella Fitzgerald.
I remember my great-grandfather playing the bones, and my dad, harmonica.
We had a recording of Fritz Kreisler. It was a Fritz Kreisler album of encores. And I remember we put it on, it was late at night, it was very kind of dark in the room. And I remember there was an eerie glow coming from the record player lights. It was both eerie and beautiful at the same time. And the music comes on and it just touched me so much. The sound of the violin, the piece, it was Caprice Venois, and it just really moved me, and it moved me to tears.
But I came upon this recording of Beethoven's Lenore's Third Overture, and I just loved it. I loved the beauty of the piece and the passion that it had, and it was amazing. I played that over and over, and was just bowled over by that.
At this point, I just cannot imagine my life without it. There was a light striking moment that I thought, I have to become a musician.
And I did everything. I sang, I played the piano, I played the violin, which eventually I became a violist. And then I even did play the organ for a summer.
It's just been who I am since I was very young.
I think a musician or a potential musician comes across moments, musical moments, that inspire them to do more.
When I was 7 years old, my family got tickets for everybody to go see the great violinist David Oistrakh.
When I was in 3rd grade, a trio came to my school and played, and I sat in the front row, and I wanted to do violin after that.
And what an exciting event that was for me. And to witness such command and see and hear him express through the music such emotion. From that point on, I was hooked.
My parents spent a lot of their time and energy being sure that I got to play in community orchestras. And that was fabulous. And from that, I started playing quartet music when I was about 12.
I went to music camps in the summer, and these were held at different universities in my area. And you go there for a couple weeks and play with the orchestra, and you'd practice every day, and you'd even have private lessons as well. But I remember playing with the orchestra. We played a piece by Holst, and it was The Planets. And then we also did a piece by Václav Nelibel. And it was so inspiring to play this with my fellow students.
I knew I wanted to be a musician for the rest of my life when I heard Beethoven's Opus 127 played by the Budapest Quartet when I was 12 years old.
It wasn't until I was at the university I met my teacher, who I just was so inspired by. He was a quartet player as well. His name was David Dawson, and he was a mentor to me. He was inspirational. He was also a cheerleader for me. He really believed in me.
I had to start a group, and we did that very quickly, and I'll never forget that first experience of playing the E-flat major chord at the opening of that piece. And I was hooked, and that's what I wanted to do, and it's what I've wanted to do every day since then.
The teachers at the time, I always believed they wanted the student to become dependent on them, but that wasn't Mr. Dawson's way. He really attempted to make you think about an interpretation. he would say, you bring something forward to me and then play it, and we can discuss why it worked or why it didn't work. So he really trained me to be my own teacher. And I really, really appreciate that, because then I could go out into the world and make music and be satisfied with how I'm playing.
What's wonderful is that I get to do it professionally and I get to share the beauty of it with other people.
Those highs in music helped me become more of a musician, and also inspired me to work harder.
Learn how to sing.
Go work with a percussionist.
Practice slower every day.
Work with a dancer. You know, movement is a very important thing. How you move, not only in a quartet, not only playing the violin, but just generally.
There's one thing I didn't do, which I should have done back then, is I didn't perform very much. And then that's what I would give myself as advice to do. We weren't required to do much performing. We just had to do a couple of recitals. But one learns so much when one performs. How to handle your nerves, it's a different way of playing in front of people than it is in the practice room.
It's important to follow your passion.
Start doing your qigong in your 20s.
Study languages.
To explore whatever interests me, even if it means going outside the school curriculum, or it is something that's considered odd or strange. I think that dots will eventually connect.
Also do some acupuncture.
And get a good night's sleep as often as you can.